Previously on The Night Hunter, we started Chapter 2 and finished the first objective, and now we can open Chapter 2, Envelope 1. So let's go ahead and open it up. Alright, so we got all the docs from Envelope 1 scanned over, and let's go through it. Here's an overview of the contents in Envelope 1. We had 3 larger documents, this is front and back, and then 4 smaller documents. So of course we'll start with the first letter. Agents, your findings are a considerable step forward for the investigation. I sent the surveillance footage to the forensics teams and they were able to confirm the film's authenticity. Adorning himself with the guise of a wild animal could be part of his motivation. One of our country's top criminal profilers, Maya Goldman, is constructing a profile for the Night Hunter based on all of the known murders. The Bureau is researching a plausible source of the chemicals used by the Night Hunter. Oh gosh. Strychnine strychnine hydrochloride and methanol trichloride are not commonly household materials. Enclosed with this letter are the material safety data sheets for both chemicals. If we can identify the killer's source, we will be considerably closer to identifying the killer himself. Sincerely, Captain Snow. We have objective 2.2, determine where the Night Hunter acquired these chemicals. Okay, let's move on. From the desk of Maya Goldman. Investigating agents, my name is Maya Goldman and I am a profiler at the Bureau. Thanks to your work on the case, I've been able to put together a profile for the Night Hunter killer. I hope this helps, and if you have further questions, I'm available to answer them. So we have a male Caucasian between the ages of 50 and 65. But last we saw, they thought it was like a teenager or something wearing stylish clothing. Early childhood trauma, likely involving physical abuse and or abandonment from primary caregivers. Most likely single and isolated. It's unlikely the killer has been married or has been able to maintain long-term romantic relationships. Low social skills and average intelligence tells us the killer may change jobs often. There is no apparent preference of gender, age, or location for the victim profiles. That's right, because there was a man and some women. The ages were all over the place, as well as the location all over the country. However, all victims were found in low traffic or deserted areas, suggesting that the killer stalks his victims to identify the optimal location prior to an attack. The lack of defensive marks on the victim suggests that the killer hides and waits for the victim to approach before surprising them and overpowering them, using the chloroform to quickly control them. Presence of injection marks on all victims and the use of the same poison confirms that the killer is methodical in planning out his attacks beforehand. These are not crimes victims of opportunity. Physical evidence on the victims suggests the killer is taller, at a minimum above 5'10", but more likely above 6 feet tall due to the angle of the injection site. The signs placed near the victims are targeted judgments, further validating the belief that the killer is familiar with the victims in some way. But I thought the words were to identify the animal, not so much the victim. The act of displaying the victims with the signs is also performative, meaning that killing the victims was not enough. He wanted to make a statement with their corpse to further insult and or shame them for whatever he believes they've done wrong. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Handwriting samples from the killer's letters suggest instability and an obsessive personality. These letters also tell us that he is following the investigation closely and is seeking recognition and possibly appreciation for what he's doing. His use of poetic language and the act of naming himself to the media also suggests that he sees what he's doing as right, and there's likely a deeper connecting thread between the victims that we've yet to discover. Yeah, I never thought it would be random. I'm pretty sure he's selecting them for a reason. My guess has to do something with connections to museums of some sort. He works in taxidermy or something. There's something conflicting there. I don't know. Wearing animal skins, furs, etc. is further proof that this killer sees himself as separate from society, possibly even above the rest of society. He may hold animals in higher regard than humans due to his early childhood traumas and his inability to successfully integrate into society as an adult. Using animal teeth to bite the victims is another way to connect himself with animals instead of people. I see, so she's already concluding that he has the teeth and it's not an actual animal that's biting them. But then that would mean for the victim who was found in pieces that he actually did that to her. It is my belief that identifying the link between the victims will be the key in finding the Night Hunter. We are currently looking at older cases to see if any align with these cases and will update you if necessary. Sincerely, Maya Goldwyn. All right, I don't think I need to take any notes. We're just looking for a connection between the victims, possible motives for these specific victims. We do have some descriptions here, about 5'10" to 6 feet tall. We'll just keep that in mind and move on. Next, we have some info on these chemicals. I'm just going to say SH and MT from now on. All right, identification of the material and supplier. Product identifier. Chemical name SH, also known as S salts. Suppliers, industrial chemical suppliers, lab chemical supplier, Keller Chemical Supplies, National Chemical. I'm guessing these will be important when we're looking to see where he gets it from. Appearance and description. Colorless crystals or white crystalline crystals mixes with water. 1 gm dissolves in 40 ml water. Hazards. Classification of substance or mixture. Acute toxicity, 2, 100%. I don't know what any of this really means. It's just very toxic. Signal word, danger. So basically it's like a crystal or a salt that mixes with water. And I guess that it's easier to inject. First aid response. Description of first aid measures. General. Immediate medical attention is required. Show this safety data sheet to the doctor in attendance. Eye contact. Rinse immediately with plenty of water, also under the eyelids, for at least 15 minutes. Keep eyes wide open while rinsing. Inhalation. Give artificial respiration with the aid of a pocket mask equipped with a one-way valve. Remove from exposure, lie down. Skin contact. Wash off immediately with plenty of water for at least 15 minutes. Remove and wash contaminated clothing and gloves, including the inside, before reuse. Ingestion. Get medical aid immediately. Do not induce vomiting unless directed to do so by medical personnel. Never give anything by mouth to an unconscious person. Equipment. It is recommended that you have an eye wash station and safety shower readily available when working with this chemical/compound. Handling and storage. Avoid contact with eyes, skin, and clothing. Do not breathe dust, mist, or vapor. Do not ingest or inhale. So you can't even inhale this stuff. Storage. Store in a cool, dry, and lockable facility unable to be moved easily. Do not store in direct sunlight. Do not store in the same location as flammable, combustible, or strong oxidizing agents. And it says this document is meant only for use with the game, the Night Hunter, and is not an official document. So nothing really sticks out aside from the supplies here and that it's able to mix with water. Let's just check out this next chemical. So we got the name here, also known as chloroform. I'm not going to read those. And then the suppliers here, we have, it looks like the same list of suppliers. Clear, colorless liquid, pleasant odor. Acute toxicity, oral, category 4. Inhalation, category 3. All right, first aid response. First aiders need to protect themselves. Show this material, safety data sheet to the doctor. Eye contact, check for and remove any contact lenses. Immediately flush eyes with plenty of water, 15 minutes. All right. Inhalation, if not breathing or if breathing is irregular, provide artificial respiration. Skin contact, rinse skin with water, shower for at least 15 minutes while removing contaminated clothing and shoes. Ingestion, rinse mouth, do not induce vomiting unless told to do so. Equipment is recommended that you have an eye wash station. All right, it's like pretty much the same as the previous one. Storage and handling. Work only under chemical fume hood. Do not inhale substance or mixture. Wear appropriate respirator when ventilation is inadequate. Avoid generation of vapors. Store in approved container made from a compatible material. Protected from direct sunlight. Keep in separate location away from corrosives, oxidizers, and strong bases. Okay, so both of them say to keep away from oxidizers or an oxidizing agent. Maybe that might be important. So I'm guessing we'll definitely have to come back to this, but for now, let's move on. So these look like purchase orders from the 4 different suppliers. First, we got Keller Chemical Supplies. Chemical purchase orders. The detectives assigned to this case were chasing down leads based on the appearance of the chemical compound in the victim's blood. They were searching national chemical supply companies that may have sold to local Albuquerque locations. Albuquerque is the New Mexico case, which was Braxton Cohen, the dude that was found in a dumpster and bit by a raccoon. And that happened in April of 1995. So I guess that's why we're looking from 1990 to 94. And here it is. We have the SH here, Museum of Natural Science, Barstow, California. We got another one here from Foggy Bottom Institute in Washington, D.C. And then Dallas Corrections Department in Dallas, Texas. I'm looking at this museum because there's a lot of connections to museums. But Barstow, California, have we seen that? Yeah, this is where we saw Barstow. So this was Henry Mendax, who he resided in Barstow. But then he moved to San Diego, so not sure about that. So next we have Lab Chemical Supply, LLC. Oh, and actually, I forgot to look for the chloroform. So let me go back really quick. We have this one right here at VIT, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Then right here, we have Gilman University, Baltimore, Maryland. And that's it. So it's all over the place. Okay, and here we have, right here, Kenan University in Connecticut. And we have the SH here, National Museum in Denver, Colorado. And then right here, Museum of Science in Boston, Massachusetts. All right, let's just keep going. Next, we have Industrial Chemical Suppliers. And right here, Museum of Science, St. Louis, Missouri. Natural History Museum, Chicago, Illinois. And then last here, California Science Center in LA. So when they mentioned that he changes a lot of jobs, I'm guessing he works at a lot of museums. All right, let's look at the last one. National Chemical. So again, we have a Museum of Natural History in New York. And that is it, right? We only see this one. We don't see the chloroform, right? Am I missing something? No, I don't think so. Okay, so I guess just like in the last video, I noticed that there was something about the 3 victims who worked in museums. So why would he choose victims from museums? But that's also where he gets his supplies from. Or he works there, he finds people he doesn't like, and then he kills them. All right, well, I'm not too sure. My guess is that he works at museums and that's where he gets the chemicals from. So let's just go to the site. Here's the site, and we are still on chapter 2. We already went through these interviews and we solved objective 2.1. So now we are objective 2.2, determine whether Night Hunter accessed these chemicals. Let's go to solution. All right, so we have, Barstow Museum of Natural Science, Foggy Bottom Institute, St. Louis Museum of Science, Stonewater Mine, and VIT. Oh, we saw them throughout most of these, huh? I'm gonna guess Barstow, right? Because he used to live... Oh no, with that, that's Mendax, and he just confessed, but he's not the real Night Hunter. But there still could be a connection in Barstow. Okay, I didn't know it was gonna be this specific. I thought I was just gonna say like from a museum or something. So let's go back. So this one is in Barstow, but the chloroform, we have orders from other places. And then we have Foggy Bottom right here and Dallas Corrections Department. How am I supposed to narrow this down? Is there another Barstow somewhere? So maybe he didn't order from this place. Maybe there's only one no, I don't know. I was gonna say that spans all 4, but he didn't have to purchase from all 4. And this one only has this MT and it's from New York. No chloroform on this one. Okay, this is St. Louis and Chicago and then LA. I don't know what this is supposed to, how I'm supposed to narrow this down. In the victim's blood, chemical compound in the victim's blood. We already did that in the first chapter. Is there something more specific that I'm supposed to be looking for? Some more connections? Or maybe I'm missing something here. Chemical name, suppliers. These are the 4 suppliers, right? This one. Oh, there's other names here. I forgot about that. Okay, so maybe I need to look back at the forms again, see if these names show up. Trichloromethane and formyl trichloride. Okay, let's check National Chemical again. Oh yeah, it's right there in Barstow. Okay, and then this one, don't see. I see. So maybe Barstow is the only one that has orders for both of them. Okay, let's see. So first we have this is Barstow for this SH, and then we saw the chloroform in the last place. So we don't need to check that one. But let's see here. We have the chloroform here at VIT, and then let's see if we see VIT Cambridge anywhere else. Not here, not on this one, and not here. Okay, so we also had SH at Foggy Bottom Institute. Is that one of our choices? Actually, what are my choices, right? Yeah, we also have Foggy Bottom. So we know at Foggy Bottom, there's SH here, but is there any chloroform anywhere? So not here. There's no Foggy Bottom here. No Foggy Bottom on this place. And no Foggy Bottom here. Okay, so we also have Dallas Corrections Department. So let's see if we can find Dallas anywhere else. We don't have Dallas here. No Dallas on here. And no Dallas. Okay, I think I'm on the right track here. I think we're just going to go ahead with Barstow. That was my hunch already, but this pretty much confirmed it for me. So let's go. All right, Barstow Museum of Natural Science. Yes. Cross-reference the SH and ethanol trichloride MSDS forms with the chemical orders to narrow down the location of where they were obtained. SH is found on the Keller Chemical Supplies order for the Museum of Natural Science in Barstow, California. Noticed in the methanol trichloride MSDS, section 1.1 product identifier, this chemical is known by other names. Trichloromethane is found on line 6 of the National Chemical Order sheet, also for the Museum of Natural Science in Barstow, California. Now that we completed Objective 2.1, we can open Chapter 2, Envelope 2. So let's go ahead and open it up. All right, we have the contents of Envelope 2. We see 5 documents. There are some access cards here and another small document. So we'll go ahead and go through these one by one. But first, I did want to show you these access cards here. It's in a nice little plastic. And then there are 3 cards. So I don't know if we're going to be looking for stuff on these. Perhaps fingerprints? Who knows? But first, we'll read this first letter. Agents, you have once again made substantial progress in this investigation. The killer would have to have had access to both chemicals while they were being stored at the Barstow Museum of Natural Science in California. With the old cases now reopened, Barstow police have uncovered a letter containing a poem that is a match for the Night Hunter's handwriting. It was delivered to the Barstow Tribune back in '96. This may be the link between the killer, the museum, and the state of California. Enclosed are records of employment for every possible suspect that worked at the Barstow Museum around the time of the killings, the floors they had access to, and the museum's guidelines for how and where these chemicals were stored. We also found a missing persons file for a woman named Eileen Townsend, whose employee ID and access cards for the museum were found in the parking lot in August 1990, shortly after she went missing. It's too coincidental to be ignored. You may be able to use this data and the information contained in the case files to single out a primary suspect. Sincerely, Captain Snow. Objective 2.3, and the last one of Chapter 2, deduce which employee at Barstow Museum is the killer. Oh wow, we're finding the killer right now? There's still 2 more chapters in the box. Okay, let's go on to the next document. We have the list of employees of Barstow Museum of Natural Science. Then we have keycard access for floors 1, 2, and 3. So the cards here I have is Eileen Townsend, which I will show you guys later on the screen. But that's what they were referencing, that these cards were found and right after she went missing. I don't know how much I really need to look into this now. I probably need some more information first, so we'll definitely come back to this. Archival/storage room security clearance. Security protocol dictates that only certain roles have access to the archival/storage rooms on each floor. Room access by role is shown below. To access a room, check out your floor's archive/storage key card. Place the key card on the pad while entering your private employee number and the door will unlock. So you need the card and the private employee number. So we have archive storage room A, geology and paleontology. I think we need cold material storage, right? Well, what else do we have? Botany, entomology, facilities maintenance, anthropology, archaeology, auxiliary storage. My guess is supposed to be in this freezer. And then we've narrowed down which roles can access. So on this card, it says that Eileen is a curator. So she would, I'm guessing, have access to this freezer. I still think we need more information. I'm going to go check the chemical documents really quick. So this one says store in a cool, dry, and lockable facility. Cool, does that mean freezer? Not necessarily, but I'm guessing it should be cool opposed to like just room temperature. This one doesn't really say it needs to be cold, but I'm thinking it should be in a freezer, or maybe that's what they're hinting at. All right, storage room closing checklist. It is vitally important that this closing checklist be followed precisely every night. The chemicals in each of the storage rooms listed here are volatile and must be stored with specific conditions. Okay, so this is the one where we're looking for oxidizing whatever stuff, and I already see it right here. So auxiliary storage, interesting. Verify chemical fume hood doors are closed and faucets are completely shut. Verify the oxidizer storage cabinet is locked and secure. Okay, so we have an oxidizer storage cabinet. And then trash out, sweep, dust. For the cold material, check the ventilation fans, ensure that the thermostat is set to 40. Check and log temperature readings on interior room thermometer. So maybe it's both rooms we need. One is in this and one's the other. That could explain why there's 3 key cards, right? Let's just check the other ones. Verify that the flammable storage cabinet is locked and secure. They also mentioned to keep away from flammable stuff, right? Chemical hood fume, humidifier water tank. Well, that should be wet, right? So, I mean, I don't think it's in the botany place. Dehumidifier. Okay, verify flammable storage cabinet is locked. So there's another flammable storage cabinet. Are they flammable? I don't know. Let me see. Oh, it just says do not store in same location as flammable. Okay, so if a room has a flammable container place, then it should not be there. Okay, so that, I think I've narrowed it down to these 2 rooms then. Okay, so now maybe needs to find out where room E and F are, right? And for room E, the curator also has access. So here are the 3 cards, front and back. As I mentioned, we have Eileen Townsend, curator. We have the 2nd floor archive storage room and 3rd floor archive storage room. I guess it doesn't say which room. That's what we need to figure out. So maybe this is like the front door, and then these are the 2 rooms that they needed to access. And now that I'm here, I might as well check these cards with my UV light, which I haven't really used aside from the blood sample. All right, let's see really quick. Aha! On the first one. I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys. Right there is a fingerprint. Oh, there's 2 fingerprints. I didn't even see that one yet. How about the other ones? Okay, so this one has 3 fingerprints. And the 3rd floor, also 3 fingerprints. So I'm not too sure how I'm going to show this to you guys. I'm going to try to take a picture of it, but for now, let's move on to finish the rest of the documents. We have Eileen Townsend's missing persons report. She's 5'4", 160. She was wearing a white work coat, blue shirt, khaki pants. She was 28, a tattoo of a cartoon bunny. Last seen by Jennifer Santos, guessing a coworker. She is a museum curator, and it was reported by Margaret Townsend. Have we seen that name before? Oh wait, that must be her relative. Sorry. Eileen Townsend was last seen leaving her office at the Barstow Museum of Natural Science on August 23rd. Reports show her last known contact was coworker Jennifer Santos, a friend who walked with her out of the museum where the 2 parted ways and Miss Townsend walked home. Why are all these people walking home, man? Maybe if you don't have a car, but still. At this point, there are no signs of foul play. Her home was undisturbed and her car parked in the driveway. Wait, she has a car, but she's walking? We have uncovered no death threats, suicide notes, or ransom attempts. Her body has not been discovered, and no crime is known to have been committed. Oh, they didn't even find the body? Oh, I guess not yet when this report was made. Her family believes that she would never leave the city without telling them first. Okay, she was last seen, 4:47 p.m., probably the end of their workday. Lastly, we have this letter written to Barstow Tribune, Barstow, California, June 2nd, 96. She was reported missing in 1990, right? 1990? It was submitted, August 24th, 1990. Okay, this is 6 years later. And there was another murder around this time, right? So the first three cases were 94, 95, and 95 again. The most current one, I believe, is supposed to be like 2021, right? Yeah, Caroline Parker is in 2021. So 96 is right after the first three. And there's no animal signature here. The police have failed to catch me, but perhaps you can do better. I seem to go unnoticed with every single letter. I've returned to where I once roamed, to the memories of my dearest home, safe behind the shed. My friends are never far, safe like you may feel, but you never really are. You feel yourself protected from the terrors of the night, but I am the night hunter, and I have you in my sight. Okay, who is he writing this to? Just like the city of Barstow? So this part, I returned to where I once roamed. I don't know, maybe that's gonna give us a location or something. So that means from the employee list, one of the employees is the killer because he must have been working there. They already mentioned it was a guy, but can we just rule that out? Can we rule out all the women here? It was Maya's report, right? That she said it was a male. Yeah, male Caucasian between 50 and 65. Is that just a hunch? Would they throw us off and it's actually a woman? Pretty tall woman. So I think we're gonna have to start looking at these fingerprints here. We're gonna have to see which one matches with this sheet right here, which was from the case of Elena Hubbard, where a wolf dismembered her body. All right, so I managed to get photos of these fingerprints. Now let's do some fingerprint matching. So I'm just gonna crop this right here. That's all we really need. All right, let's see if we can do it on the screen. If not, I'm just gonna have to do it on the physical one. So first, right off the bat, we know we're looking for something with this little circle in here, which I can see immediately right here. I don't see it in these other ones. And is that the same? I don't know, but let's try to match on here first. So if I rotate that here, I mean, that looks pretty good already, right? Yeah, that looks bang on. Even from here, right? Looks like a complete match. So that's on the second floor card. I'm just gonna check also with the physical one. Oh, so actually with the physical one, the size doesn't necessarily match. Let's see if I can show you guys. The print on the card is a little bigger than the one on the sheet. But with the magic of technology, we were able to resize it here. Okay, I don't think the other ones match. The only other one I see is right here, but no, that doesn't really match. So does that mean we are narrowed down to the second floor? So let's go see what's on this second floor. We have cafeteria, conservationist, curator, educator, graphic designer, IT technician, janitor, program director. I think like a job where you can just kind of come in and go would be the janitor, right? Like if you're job hopping all over the place, I don't think you would be a program director. Graphic designer, maybe, possibly. IT technician, I don't know, don't think so. I mean, it's stereotypical, but a janitor, I mean, it's probably the easiest job you can get. Although cafeteria services, it depends, right? What are you doing for the cafeteria? What is this supposed to help me with? These don't show me like which floor these are on. And I don't know how these connect to the floors. Oh, but I do see janitor. The janitor has access to these also. But the janitor has access to everything. My question is, if he was janitor, he wouldn't need to steal these cards because he would have access to everything. So maybe it's a job that's not on here. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Maybe it's someone who needed the access because they didn't have it. So so maybe it is the cafeteria because the cafeteria people don't have access to anywhere, right? Because there's conservationists. I mean, they only have access to one of these rooms though. I'm still not too sure if it's 2 rooms. Maybe it is just the freezer we're looking at. Because curator has access, educator does not have access, could be an educator as well. Graphic designer does not, IT technician does not, janitor does, and program director has access to this room. And I would argue that educator, graphic designer, and IT technician are like higher education, higher paying jobs. So that really does just leave me with one, the cafeteria services. Are we right? Is this the right thinking? Is our guy Santiago? Let's go find out. So we go back to chapter. And now we're on the bottom here. Narrow down which Barstow Museum employee was the killer. All right, let's go. Okay, so we got none against the cafeteria, dude. I guess this just going here is kind of a hint in itself, right? Because you see a very small list of your options now. Are we at least on the right floor? We got Lawrence, Peter, Jeffrey, Robert. No, we have Lawrence up here. Jeffrey is the janitor here. Peter's a museum curator. What was the last one? Robert? Archivist? Oh, you know what? Maybe just like the roles I was thinking, maybe I'm thinking of this the wrong way also. Because if someone had the floor 2 access card, they wouldn't need to have stolen this. So it has to be someone who doesn't have floor 2 keycard access. Is that how I'm supposed to be thinking about this? Oh my gosh, this is getting a little bit confusing now. Okay, let's back up here. So they used the second floor keycard because that's the only print we have of the murderer. These key cards or access cards were found in the parking lot. So that means that the killer just dumped them after he used it. So now we're coming back to the fact that the killer worked there. If the killer worked there and already had access to floor 2 and already had access to the correct room, then they wouldn't have needed to steal anything. Maybe I'm supposed to narrow this down some more and it's actually supposed to be only one room. For example, this one says hood doors are closed, whereas this ventilation is on. Let's see, work only under chemical fume hood. Okay, so that would mean there needs to be a hood door. Where appropriate, respirator when ventilation adequate. Store an approved container. Do not store the same as flammable, combustible. Cool, dry, lockable. No direct sunlight. And then chemical fume hood doors are closed and faucets are completely shut. So this is the only one with the fume hood. This one is the cool place. Maybe it is both? Are we looking for a role that has access to both? Because then we would have archivist, curator, janitor, and management. Then we go down the list. So we have archivist Robert Warren, which is probably why he's on the list on the website. We have a curator here, but he's not there. Peter Tate is there as a curator. Glenda, I'm assuming, is a female name. So we have Jeffrey, but Benjamin's not there on the website. And then management, there's Lawrence Tanner. Georgia? Is that a guy? Guess not. Maybe that's it, right? Maybe it's someone who has access to both of these rooms. But why are these cards dumped then? That's what I don't understand. And my question is, are these 3 cards not all Eileen's cards? Either I'm really overthinking this or it's not really making sense. Is the killer using their own card or a stolen card? That's kind of what I'm wondering right now. And what does it have to do with Eileen going missing? Maybe Eileen found out and that's why she went missing. Not so much that he needed her access cards. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what's confusing me. It's not necessarily a stolen access card. It's just that the killer used their own access card. That means it is floor 2, right? So are we sticking to floor 2? And would have to be a role that can access both of these floors. Okay, so let's start over. There's no archivist on floor 2. Curator, we have James McDade and Peter Tate. So Peter Tate would be a candidate. The janitor, Jeffrey, is also suspect then. And there's no management. So that means I'm narrowing it to 2. But how do I separate the 2? Are we then saying that, like, kind of my original assumption of a janitor is an easy job that where you can go from place to place? Okay, maybe I am overthinking it. I'm just going to go with the janitor then. Okay, Jeffrey Volpes. Volpes? Let's go. Yes. Don't overthink it. Use blacklight with fingerprints on the key cards and match with fingerprint transparency from Elena Hubbard's to match to Elena's case and to know which floor the killer had access to. In this case, we match Elena's killer's print to the second floor key card. Cross-reference storage room closing checklist with MSDS to see what rooms the chemicals were in. The MSDS states that both chemicals should be stored in a dry environment and not in the same location as flammable, combustible, or oxidizing agents. The chemicals could only be stored in 2 of the rooms. Okay, so I was right about that. Then it goes through these details. So not A because flammable, not B because it's not a dry place. Room C is a possibility? Hold on, wait a second, let me go back. Oh, was it room C? What about room E? Oh, am I looking for something that fits for both chemicals? Yeah, because it contains oxidizers, so it would not be in there, but it could store one of them. Oh, wait, they both say to keep out of oxidizing. Oops. And this has a oxidizer storage cabinets. Well, I guess I got really lucky there. I guess that would have narrowed it down. We would have had archivist, janitor, or management. And then there's no archivist or management. So that would have narrowed it down to janitor. I see. So that's how you would get it. Cross-reference the clearance sheet with the employee list to see which jobs had access to what floors. The archivist, janitor, and management have access to room C and F according to the security clearance sheet. Of these, only the janitor has floor 2 keycard access. As a result, the janitor, Jeffrey Volpes, is the killer. Here's a letter from Captain Snow before moving on to Chapter 3. Agents, amazing. We have our killer, Jeffrey Volpes. I'm just going to say Volpes, I don't care if that's wrong. A former janitor at the Barstow Museum of Natural Science. Not only did he have access to the chemicals in question, his fingerprints on the floor 2 keycard matched those gathered at the scene of the Oklahoma City murder. I'm sending a team to Barstow. Get some rest, agents. We're getting close, but the night is always darkest before dawn. End of Chapter 2. All right, that will do it for this video. If you're enjoying this series, don't forget to give this video a like. Also consider subscribing to the channel. In the next video, we're going to start Chapter 3. So if it's already out, you'll see it right here somewhere. Also a playlist that's easier for you guys to follow along with. If not, maybe hit that notification bell so you know exactly when it comes out, and hope to see you then.